6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The foreign minister says a viable and sovereign state of Palestine must be established on the basis of pre-1967 borders as per the United Nations resolutions. Over 300 Palestinians have been martyred in unabated Israeli airstrikes on Gaza Strip, while 500 Israelis were killed in the fight with the Palestinian resistance forces. The United Nations Security Council will hold an emergency meeting today to discuss the escalating tensions between Israeli occupation troops and Palestinian groups in Gaza Strip. The Information Minister says it is prerogative of the Election Commission of Pakistan to announce the date for the general elections. National Resilience Day is being observed today to express solidarity with the victims of the 2005 earthquake. Australia have set a victory target of 200 runs for India in the fifth match of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 at Chennai. And now the news in detail. The caretaker Foreign Minister Jalil Abbas Jilani says Pakistan is deeply concerned by the escalating hostility in the Middle East and the loss of innocent lives. In a tweet, he said, "We stand in solidarity with the Palestinians and call for an immediate end to the violence and oppression by the Israeli occupation forces." Jalil Abbas Jilani said a viable and sovereign state of Palestine must be established on the basis of pre-1967 borders and the United Nations resolutions. He said the international community needs to intervene to bring an end to the conflict, protect civilians, and work towards a lasting peace in the Middle East. Over 300 Palestinians have been martyred in unabated Israeli airstrikes on Gaza Strip since yesterday. Palestinian health officials said 20 children were among the at least 313 civilians martyred. They said nearly 2,000 people were wounded. Israeli airstrikes battered Gaza overnight, smashing buildings and the houses in dense populated areas. The jets resumed strikes on the Gaza in the morning, and troops were conducting clearing operations around the blockaded enclave. The West Bank has also seen stepped-up Israeli raids and assaults by the Jewish settlers on Palestinian villages. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, in a speech, said the assault that began in Gaza would spread to the West Bank and Jerusalem. Palestinians are living in Gaza under an Israeli blockade for 16 years. Meanwhile, fighting between the Israeli troops and the Palestinian resistance forces continued near Gaza and occupied West Bank territories. According to BBC, at least 500 Israelis have been killed and dozens of Israelis are being held hostage. And in Egypt, 2 Israeli tourists and their Egyptian tour guide were shot dead in Alexandria. Meanwhile, Israel and Hezbollah exchanged artillery and rocket fire today. Hezbollah, in a statement, said it has launched guided rockets and artillery onto 3 posts in the Sheba farms in solidarity with the Palestinian people. A Lebanese security source told Reuters that a tent set up by Hezbollah in the Sheba farms has been hit. The United Nations Security Council will hold an emergency meeting today to discuss the escalating tensions between the Israeli occupation troops and Palestinian resistance forces in the Gaza Strip. The 15-member council will deliberate upon the situation in the Middle East, including the Palestinian question. Brazil, which holds the United Nations Security Council presidency, has convened the meeting of the body to address the escalating violence. Brazilian Foreign Ministry, in a statement, has urged all the parties to exercise maximum restraint in order to avoid escalating the situation. The caretaker Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Murtaza Solangi, has categorically stated that elections will be held on the date announced by the Election Commission of Pakistan. In an interview with the private web channel, the minister said he has full confidence in the Election Commission. He said it is not the prerogative of the caretaker government to give an election date. Murtaza Solangi said the Election Commission and the caretaker government will ensure a level playing field for all the political parties in the general elections. He said media and the courts are also independent in the country. Replying to a question, he said the process of privatization was not initiated by the caretaker government. He said the previous parliament and its elected government decided to privatize various entities, and we are bound to implement the decisions. Murtaza Solangi stressed the need for reformation in the institutions. Answering a question about deadline given for repatriation of illegal immigrants living in Pakistan, he said the people residing illegally in the country should voluntarily leave the country by October 31st. This is Radio Pakistan. The Pakistan ambassador to China, Moinul Haq, has said China-Pakistan economic corridor is a game changer and very important for socio-economic development of Pakistan. In an interview with China Central Television, he said both China and Pakistan have agreed to invite third parties to participate in this project. He said new corridors like China-Pakistan Digital Corridor, Green Corridor, and Health Corridors have been launched to benefit of emerging opportunities in science and technology and information technology fields. The ambassador expressed the confidence that advantages from CPAC will not only help Pakistan but also the regional countries. National Resilience Day is being observed today all across the country to express solidarity with the victims of the 2005 earthquake. The earthquake claimed thousands of lives, besides causing massive damage to infrastructure, especially in Azad Kashmir and Hazara division of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. In their separate messages on the occasion, the President, Dr. Arif Alvi, and the caretaker Prime Minister, Anwarul Haq Kakar, have reaffirmed the commitment to enhance national preparedness and strengthen resilience in the face of natural disasters. The President, in his address, said, "We come together to show our solidarity and compassion for families who have endured the devastating effects of unprecedented natural disasters." The caretaker Prime Minister, in his message, said Pakistan is moving towards a proactive approach to cope with the challenge of climate change. Pakistan has expressed deep grief and sorrow over the loss of precious lives and damage to properties in the devastating earthquake that hit western regions of Afghanistan yesterday. A statement issued by the Foreign Office spokesperson today said the government and people of Pakistan are deeply saddened by the devastating earthquake in Afghanistan, resulting in tragic loss of life and widespread damage to property. It said that Pakistan stands in complete solidarity with the Afghan brethren during this difficult time. In Afghanistan, the death toll in the earthquake has risen over 2,000, which had hit Herat city yesterday. The spokesman for the Ministry of Disasters, Janan Saik, said more than 9,000 people were injured in the deadliest tremor, with one of 6.3 magnitude. He said 1,320 houses were damaged or destroyed, while 10 rescue teams were in the area which borders Iran. Azerbaijan has criticized France over its decision to send military aid to Armenia, saying it would trigger a new conflict in the South Caucasus. In a statement, President Ilham Aliyev said if any new conflict occurs in the region, France would be responsible for causing it. And now cricket. In the fifth match of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023, chasing a victory target of 200 runs against Australia at Chennai, India were 2 runs for the loss of 2 wickets in 1.3 overs a short while ago. Earlier, Australia scored 199 runs and were all out in 49.3 overs. Pakistan has secured a bronze medal in the Kabaddi men's team event at 2023 Asian Games in Hangzhou, China. This is the third medal of the Games after winning bronze in women's individual shooting and silver in men's team squash. And finally, the weather report. Dry weather is likely to prevail over most parts of the country, while hot conditions are likely in southern areas during the next 12 hours. However, partly cloudy weather with rain, wind, and thunderstorm is expected at isolated places in Gilgit-Baltistan and Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan